We've got some major injury news to discuss for the New York Giants as well as the Dallas Cowboys, as we are just a couple days away from that Week 2 matchup being kicked off. Before we dive into that, though, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We are in a subscriber battle this week against our rival channel, the Dallas Cowboys Report, hosted by Tom Downey, and I want to beat him, and I want to beat the Cowboys. So if you love the Giants, you hate Dallas, and you want to get to 1-1, hit that sub button right now. You are watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports, and I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for stopping by as we take a look at the injury report following Wednesday practice for the Giants. Then on the tail end of today's show, we'll go over some Dallas Cowboys injury news. Bad news for them, not celebrating an injury. It is what it is, but it is good news for the New York Giants. Let's start with the bad news, though. Andrew Thomas, once again, was not at practice for the Giants. How was that possible? Andrew Thomas did not play on Sunday. His last practice was on Friday. Why is he unable to participate in a practice the following Wednesday? Brian Daboll said this about 78, quote, "So Andrew Thomas will not practice today. That is part of the plan. Making progress. Hoping to get him out there in the next 2 days and see where he's at the end of the week." I'm just at the point where I am not expecting Andrew Thomas to play football for this team ever again. Because every single time when I feel like, all right, we're close, he's about to play, it seems like he's not. And I got duped again. I thought he could play this week. But somehow, some way, 5 days since his last practice, he is unable to practice. So, moving forward, I'm not going to expect him to play. So when he does, it's an exciting surprise, and I can be happy about it. Dan Duggan saying this: "There was optimism at the end of the week last week about Thomas's potential availability for week 2. That he's sitting out the lone padded practice of the week after 4 straight off days from practice makes me more skeptical. You, me, and Dupree." Dan Duggan, "I don't understand how he is going to play. He can't practice. It sounds like, at this point, the reason he's not playing is because the risk for re-injury is too high." And I said this on last week's show. If there is still risk of re-injury, that makes me feel as if we are weeks away from Andrew Thomas playing. Because what's going to change in 5 days for the risk of re-injury to drop drastically enough for him to be able to feel confident and go out there? I'm over it. Malik Nabers, he was limited at practice with a back injury, something that it seems like he has been working through over the past couple of weeks. I don't know. It sounds like he's just going to be going with the Plaxico Burress practice schedule. I don't practice all week, but I go out there and I play. And it's awesome because, him and Russell Wilson, they were on such a good similar page on Sunday. They were in sync. They knew where each other were going to be, and they don't need to practice at all, right? Maybe he should have practiced at OTAs or minicamp or maybe one time this offseason. Brian Daboll says don't sound the alarms, though. Malik Nabers should be okay. And look, I don't think the back injury is anything crazy, but it just always seems like it's something popping up for Malik Nabers. Hopefully he's able to go out there and play, be healthy, and carry this offense to a win because he's really the only player on this offense that I have a lot of confidence in. Some more bad news on the injury front. Wan'Dale Robinson, one of the lone bright spots coming out of the Week 1 debacle against the Washington Commanders, he didn't practice with an ankle injury. And I honestly thought he had a good game. He was a chain mover, and when the ball was thrown to him on time, on target, out in front, he was able to get loose with it and get yards after the catch. Fortunately, he didn't practice, and it's an ankle injury. Brian Daboll said, we'll lay off him today, but he should be good. For a team that didn't score in their season opener, for the 3rd year in a row, Brian Daboll, you would think that you would want Wan'Dale Robinson and Malik Nabers to practice. Because how are they supposed to get better? the country club atmosphere is just a country club Daboll. Country club Daboll. That's where we're at. I do want to say congratulations to our guy, Sexy Dexy. He and his wife, they welcomed their first child into the world this week. Major congrats to Dexter Lawrence. Was not at practice today, obviously, for personal reasons. He is spending time with his wife and his baby. Show him some love. Type those 97s down in the comment section. Congratulations to the Lawrence family. You're going to be a hell of a dad. You are. And I'm happy to see it. Awesome. Awesome stuff. Congratulations to the Lawrence family. Continue to pray for them. All righty. We'll get to more injury news coming up, but get your Giants jerseys. You want a Jackson Dart jersey? Go to chatsports.com/dart. And if you want to wear an Abdul Carter jersey on game day, you can get yours as well at chatsports.com/Carter. Chatsports.com/Carter. Chatsports.com/Dart. Get your jerseys today. An injury that I don't feel like is being talked about all that much is Demetrius Flannigan-Fowles, the 29-year-old inside linebacker for the New York Giants. He was limited at practice today with a calf injury, and the reason it is noteworthy is because he saw himself rise up the New York Giants inside linebacker depth chart because Micah McFadden is going to miss serious time. I would assume that McFadden gets added to injured reserve here sooner rather than later. I think a corresponding roster move will follow that. Maybe they sign a practice squad linebacker from somebody else. Maybe they look at a veteran that is a free agent. But with an injury to Micah McFadden, and now Flannigan-Fowles dealing with an injury, you are razor thin at that linebacker spot. Potentially just Bobby Okereke, Chris Board, and Darius Musow. The only three healthy inside linebackers at this point. Next man up. He's going to have to step up. Darius Musow. His number is going to be called more than it has throughout his National Football League career as he enters year 2 after being a 2024 sixth-round pick out of UCLA. And if you talk to anybody this offseason, everyone said, there's a lot of high hopes for Darius Musow this year. Tyrone Tracy was on WFAN last Friday, and he was talking about important leaders, important players on this team, and he mentioned Darius Musow, a backup linebacker. He wasn't good in week 1. I think he was actually the lowest graded Giant via Pro Football Focus, a 30 overall grade. They're going to need him to step up. They're going to need to go and play some good football against the Dallas Cowboys team that is trying to rebirth their run game. So that's the injury news for the New York Giants. Let's move on to the Dallas Cowboys injury front. Their star corner, Deron Bland, is dealing with a foot injury. He did not participate in practice. And shout out to my guy Nick Harris, who covers the Dallas Cowboys. He reported that Deron Bland was in a walking boot at the Dallas Cowboys facility today. What does it mean? I don't know. He had a major foot injury last year that caused him to miss time. I'm not wishing injury upon anybody, but if he's not going to play, that means more opportunities for other corners on their roster, which means it's next man up for them. And they're going to have some depth pieces guard the New York Giants' best receiver in Malik Nabers. Also, Malik Hooker, we told you guys about his injury a couple of days ago. He's dealing with a foot. He was a limited participant at practice for Dallas. I assume he's ready to rock and roll come Sunday. But if Deron Bland can't play, that is a major, major injury for Dallas. And again, not celebrating an injury. I want to beat them at their best. But the facts are the New York Giants are going to have to take advantage of a corner room that is headlined now by Trayvon Diggs. Bland is their best corner. He creates interceptions. He's a playmaker. And now that means Darius Slayton gets to be guarded by another corner that is on their roster that is not Deron Bland. So the Giants catch a little bit of a break, not celebrating an injury, but facts are the facts. If he's unable to play, that's going to be a big hit for Dallas. Make sure you are following me on social media. If we get any more injury news on Andrew Thomas, Malik Nabers, Wan'Dale Robinson, or anybody that we talked about on today's show, we'll get you guys a video. So subscribe, turn those notifications on, and if you want to beat Dallas, hit that thumbs up icon for me.